It's the day after the night before, and it's day 2 on the job for me as one half of the Sports Tonight double act on Dubai Eye 103.8. I can tell you I've already ditched Chris McCarty because I've got bigger fish to fry. I've secured a sit down with none other than Race to Dubai champion himself, Henrik Stenson. Henrik, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Was it a late night last night?
Not too late, but you know, I had a few places to go, and then you start packing and trying to get in touch with the family in the US and so forth. So yeah, it was probably about 1:30 before we shut our eyes.
But nothing too huge in the way of celebrations, or?
No, not really. I'm not much of a drinker anyway, so yeah, we saved that for another time.
Okay, and we're sat here at the beautiful Els Club Dubai. I know that you have very strong links here in Dubai, and you've also started fairly recently your own course design business. Are we going to see a course designed by Henrik Stenson in Dubai at some stage in the near future?
I'm not sure. We'll see. That's something I've always been interested in, and as you said, I've started that up and have 1 or 2 projects going, and it's not something I want to do too much of while I'm still active playing, but still something I wanted to kind of start up and get my foot into while I was still active. So we'll take it on a fairly slow basis and see where it takes us.
Okay, well, so much has happened in your year, and I know there's lots to look back on. The silver medal at the Olympics, the Ryder Cup, obviously your performances throughout the year, and the race to Dubai as well. But if we can look specifically at the Open and the performance there, which was for me one of the greatest golfing performances of all time. Have you had a chance to sit down with Phil Mickelson and kind of have a debrief, catch up, and sort of relive that day at Royal Troon?
I'm not sure if Phil would enjoy that too much. It's not really how we normally go about things, but I watched it in my spare time. I've seen kind of the full coverage on that Sunday, and it's pretty pleasing, I have to say. And I played one of my best rounds of golf ever, and given the circumstances and what was on the line, it's probably my finest performance. So I'm sure I'll have some time in the off season to have another look at it.
And what was the most special message you received of support? Congratulations, you know, such a breakthrough when the first male Swede to win a major. You must have been inundated in those few days after the Open. What was the most special message you received?
I mean, I had a message from the Royal House in Sweden. Had from some of the game's greats, from Jack Nicklaus. It was from Gary Player and from Arnold Palmer's camps. Received congratulations from them. So, but it's just such a nice experience to share with your family and with your friends and all the golfers back in Sweden who's been longing for this for a long time. So I'm very pleased to have made that come true, and it was a career dream and a boyhood dream really to come true, to win the Open Championship. So I liked it, and I'm going to try my best to make it happen again.
You're a very modest guy, obviously, but if you sort of watched yourself playing that final round at Royal Troon, it's fair to say that was probably one of the all-time great rounds of golf.
Yeah, it was an extraordinary day, and managed to break some records that's been there for a while, and you never know, they might be washed away next year, but they might stand for the next 30 years as well. So it was certainly some added bonuses to not just winning the Open, which was great in itself, but to set those records. And again, you have to be two to tango, right? So without Phil pushing me to the edge, I don't think I would have played as well as I did. So he certainly has his part in it, and it's a very humbling experience to be mentioned in reference with a duel in the sun from the 70s, and to be receiving messages from those players that they thought there was an even better match this time around. So all in all, a fantastic week, and something I'm very proud of.
And what's it like when you get into that zone, if you will? I mean, obviously it wasn't the best start for you in that final round, but after that, I mean, you were absolutely in the zone. A friend of mine said the ball flight was like frozen rope on the Pro Tracer. It was absolutely dead straight. You hold putts from all over the place. Have you thought much about what it takes to get there and how you maintain it when you're in that kind of a zone?
Yeah, I think for me the the stretch that really stood out was the last 5 holes. I don't think I've ever been as dialed in and focused on what's going on right now and right here, not anything else that's happening. So yeah, it's a nice state to be in, and something that you always try to get to. There's certain things you can do certainly to help it occur, but on the other end you can't really push it, and you can't force yourself to get into there. But there's certain keys that you can work on to make it easier, and when everything falls into place, it just shows you that you got more in the tank than you might know.
And are you a superstitious guy? Are there things you did that day that you've continued to do in tournaments ever since, or anything particular that stands out about the way you prepared for that one?
Not really. It was good preparations. I did a good scouting mission at Troon the week of Scottish Open. So game plan was done, and once I got into the Open week, I just carried on with some of my practice, and I played 9 holes on the Tuesday and 9 holes on the Wednesday, and that was it. I felt like I had done all the work that needed to be done the week before, and then you can focus on being fresh and just working a little bit on your game, and that's kind of the approach that we will take going forward.
And you dedicated your win in part to Mike Gerbich, who'd sadly passed away just recently before the victory. Talk a little bit, if you can, about what Mike meant to you and how that friendship started at Emirates Golf Club.
Yeah, it started back in the day. I think pretty much all of the European Tour knew Mike, and everyone at Emirates Golf Club certainly did. So no, he was kind of a center point, a center figure at Emirates Golf Club, and very friendly, and just a great guy. He loved his golf, loved to play golf, and spent a lot of time at the club. So and over the years we got close to Mike and his family, and yeah, it was very sad news to receive that week. I knew that he'd been battling cancer for quite some time, and we always kept in contact, but it all took a turn for the worse very quickly there, and sadly he passed away that week of the Open.
And was he an inspirational figure for you during the sort of the trials and tribulations of your career as well, throughout that time at Emirates?
Yeah, he was always, we always kept in contact, and he was always very encouraging, and he was always there, whether you're shooting 75s and missing cuts, or shooting 65s and winning tournaments. He was always there with a text or with a message, and yeah, he was just a great supporter and a great friend. So he is missed, and but at the same time you wanna remember him for all the good things he did, and for such a great person he was. So he's still there with us in spirit.
And I read also that you said you felt he was with you during that final round. Is that something that you felt while you were out there?
Yeah, I was. It was sad times that week when he passed away, and someone put a message out, you know, go and win the Open for Mike, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try my hardest, and you know, it might have been the one thing that made a little bit of a difference there when you play for someone else. You play with a purpose, and I'm sure that helped me. And if there is divine intervention, then that was certainly one of those cases.
How has your life changed, Henrik? You've been a top golfer for many, many, many years now, but since winning a major, you know, they say it is a life-changing event in the career of any golfer. Has it changed your life?
Yeah, it's a bit more busy, a bit more things to do, but at the same time, I think I've been progressing over the years in managing my time and managing my calendar, and becoming better at saying no. So it's only so much time in a day, and it's easy to be, you know, going away from what's your core business, and that's still practicing and competing and playing good golf. So even though you get a lot of proposals for different things and asked to do a million interviews, you got to choose to do a number of them, and you got to just manage your time, and I feel like I'm doing that pretty well. So
you got to stick to what got you into that position in the first place.
Absolutely. Otherwise you're going to lose that form, and that is an effective way not to have to do too many interviews. So that's playing poorly golf, and, you know, not doing the results, then no one wants to talk to you again. So it's kind of in your own hands.
But that when are you going to win a major question, that'll never have to be answered again.
No, that's a sweet one. It's been a long time waiting for golfers in Sweden. As long as we can remember, it's always been, is it ever going to happen? And yeah, it feels very nice to be able to answer that question that we got.
Did Annika reach out? Because obviously her with 10.
Yeah. On the male side, we need to add there. It's been. I don't know if we got 5 girls who won majors or something, 5 or 6, something like that on the female side. But nice to have got that first one, and now we can focus on getting a second one.
Okay, just interested for the sort of budding sports people who are listening tonight. What would be your number one fitness tip? Because you're obviously in prime shape at the age of 40. You know, still hitting it as far as you ever did. Your number one fitness tip, and then your number one tip for sort of having a strong mental game that you showed at Royal Troon.
Well, in terms of fitness, I think you know, when you're out on tour and it's quite busy, you're not going to get 2-hour gym sessions in. So it's the little short sessions, even if you only got 15 minutes. You know, pick out a few exercises, and it's mainly, for me, it's core, it's back, it's glutes, shoulder stability, and also I got some issues with my knees, so I do a little bit of extra on them. But you know, those kind of normal key areas, and just do it. You don't need to spend an hour or two. Just make sure you maintain it and just not go backwards. That's the important thing for me when I'm out on tour and out traveling. And in terms of mental tips, I think really, I mean, decision making, making clear, good decisions. That's always key. And then you just gotta trust it and go with it. And you can always learn from your mistakes, but if you're not making any decisions and not committing to them, then you don't really have anything to evaluate. So, you know, pick your shot, pick your club, and go for it, and then you'll find out afterwards if it was the right one or not. You can't really doubt it throughout the process of hitting the shot. So I guess that would be simple enough.
Okay, well, a couple of quick fire questions if I can, just to finish off. What's your favourite show on Netflix?
Right now I'm watching Marco Polo.
Okay.
In terms of shows, I watched pretty much all the Game of Thrones, like that one. But Marco Polo would be the one. I like Vikings as well.
Okay, and favourite thing to do with the kids?
Play soccer, hang out by the pool.
Favourite meal?
A steak.
Just steak?
Yeah, a good steak. Well, all the stuff that goes with it, of course, but a either nice fillet or nice sirloin.
Okay, perfect. Best friend on tour?
I'm pretty good buddies with Justin, despite him beating me at the Olympics. So we catch the odd dinner and travel together at times, and anyone that you played with over the years on the Ryder Cup team, the guys that you kind of grew up with out on tour, and some of the other Swedes as well. So I got a pretty good bunch to choose from.
Okay, and dream dinner party, if you could invite 4 guests, past or present, who would it be?
Well, I never got to play golf with Jack, Gary, and Arnie, so why not invite them then for a sit-down meal?
Nice. Okay. Last round of golf in your life, what course would you choose to play?
Whew. I will take St Andrews then.
St Andrews.
Yeah,
Good choice.
Can't really go wrong with that one.
No, home of golf,
Yeah.
the spiritual home. And finally, if you could just finish this sentence, Henrik Stenson in 2017 will?
Henrik Stenson in 2017 will hopefully win another major.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much,
All
Henrik.
right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.